Hello everyone, welcome to Task IAS. Today we will discuss Unit 9.8 Epidemiological Anthropology. And these are subtopics given in Unit: Health and Disease, Infectious and Non-Infectious Disease, Nutritional Deficiency related disease. We are covering Unit 9.8 earlier because this is easy to understand, and I am covering biological anthropology topics according to their toughness level, so that if someone is doing syllabus first time, he can also easily grasp things. One important information is that PDF for our all lectures of anthropology as well as of ethics are available in our Telegram channel, and link of that channel is given in description of video, so you can enjoy PDFs as well. Now, epidemiological anthropology. So firstly we will discuss about this basic term, what we mean by this epidemiological anthropology. So this is a subfield of biological anthropology which mainly deals with issues of health and disease. So it covers various branches like epidemiology, ethnomedicine, medical aspects of various social systems. That means here we will discuss about disease, its biological aspects, their region, what is way out, as well as ethnomedicine. That means how medical or biological part is affected by our socio-cultural system. For example, different society has different notation of when one individual will be treated as a ill person or a diseased person. You can consider two families A and B. A will consider an individual ill only when he is not able to walk or he is not able to do his own work. But here is family B who believe in regular checkups, and they will consider an individual ill if he is not doing well in psychological as well as in physical terms. So different families or different societies have different meanings, so we will cover these aspects. Now, nutritional anthropology. We will discuss how nutrition has important role in maintaining our health and physical sustainability. Now, dynamics of folk medicine, how घरेलू नुस्खास or local medicine is important in our health system. So epidemiology is quantitative study. It is quantitative, that means it deals with numbers of occurrence and causes of disease. Here epidemiologists are considered as number hunters because they focus on a larger scale idea regarding what are the factors that led to any particular disease and what is the pattern between different societies, and also how the present situation of any disease is different or similar from their past pattern. So that means they will discuss about evolution of different patterns of disease as well as variation of different pattern of disease in different societies. So this is a general idea regarding epidemiological anthropology. Now, health and disease, this is mentioned in our syllabus, so we will focus on it more. According to WHO, health is a state of a complete physical, mental and social well-being. It's better if you remember these keywords as it is. So health is not merely absence of disease but is holistic, where physical, mental and social all dimensions are covered according to WHO. And if someone has good health, it will help in efficient working of that individual and productivity will be very high. So what are the criteria to maintain good health? Firstly, balanced diet, where all nutrients including micronutrients, macronutrients will have adequate amount in your diet. Now, personal hygiene. Even personal as well as public hygiene are important. That's why missions like Swachh Bharat mission is organized. But personal hygiene has more importance because if personal hygiene is not maintained, then the chances of getting infectious disease is higher. You can correlate it with current epidemic of corona as well. Now, regular exercise will not only help you physical terms but also in psychological terms, especially in era of globalization where individualism is rising, where loneliness is rising and work pressure is increasing. You can correlate these points. Now vaccination for less developed as well as least developed countries, vaccination is important so that spread of epidemics is controlled, because in these least developed or less developed countries there are other associated issues like poverty is very high, hygiene status is low, so they are vulnerable for disease. Now environmental hygiene, how the waste disposal system is working, and you can correlate with open defecation system. Because of that, chances of various infectious disease like cholera, malaria, these chances of getting these diseases are higher. Now control of vectors, you can correlate with malaria or stagnant water, because if standing water is nearby then it will give birth to various vectors including mosquitoes and flies. Now this is a idea regarding health. Now disease, what we mean by disease, this is a pathological condition of body part or any organ or whole body system, and it can be due to various causes such as infection, genetic effect or environmental stress. So here we have considered genetic, that means internal causes, as well as external causes like infection or environmental. Here environmental includes your social or psychological factors as well. And this disease is characterized by some signs or symptoms, because every disease will have some incubation period, after that symptoms will appear. Now classification of disease, now you have to relate your GS knowledge in your optional. For example, congenital, communicable and non-communicable. Congenital, that means it is by birth defect, and you can here write about genetic disease, and more examples you can write from other units of unit 9 where we will discuss about various genetic disorders and chromosomal disorders. For example, Down syndrome, Patau syndrome, you can write these here. And communicable disease, there are various communicable as well as neglected tropical disease as classified by WHO. So some of examples like cholera, dengue, chikungunya, you can write these examples. Now non-communicable are those diseases which are due to lifestyle issues. For example, obesity or heart disease, Alzheimer's disease. So you can write these examples here, and even you can draw some table to show how different disease and their symptoms and their examples are well organized. Now infectious and non-infectious disease, this is mentioned in our syllabus. So what is infectious disease? First is infectious. So these are those diseases where any biological agent or pathogen or carrier of disease infect a host, that means human being. Here infectious diseases are acute, that means short term, and they can be cured if precautions or proper medical treatment is taken. So here are various carriers for these infectious disease. For example, bacteria which cause cholera, typhoid, pneumonia, virus which cause corona, dengue, fever, chickenpox, etc. Similarly for fungus, cryptococcus, etc. and parasites like malaria, amoeba, filariasis, you can mention these diseases. Now based on mode of transmission, infectious diseases are divided into two, direct or indirect. How direct transmission will happen? Firstly, direct contact. Here we are discussing how the carrier of disease will transfer from an infected person to an healthy person. So we are discussing direct mode. In direct mode, first is direct contact, that means here handshaking or direct touch of two individuals is included. Now droplet infection, if you consider cases of corona or pneumonia, so here air droplets will have bacteria or virus and that will transfer from an infected to healthy individual. Now food contamination, here food contamination shows that how carrier of disease can be found in food, for example in meat, especially in animal food, and that can be transmitted from animal to an individual. Now fecal-oral route, it shows that from waste how it can reach to a new food cycle. For example, if there is lack of hygiene, then from fecal oral route, that means from waste material, carrier will transfer from waste to any healthy individual. So bacteria can transfer cholera etc. disease from this route. Now animal bite, from animal bite also direct transmission of carrier from one host to second host can happen. For example, you can consider example of malaria where protozoa is transferred by help of mosquito, female anopheles mosquito in case of malaria. Now transplantation transmission, during childbirth also through placenta these carriers can transfer. Similarly, if transplant of any organ is happening from an infected to healthy individual, this virus can be transplanted. You can consider here example of AIDS in which HIV virus can be transferred during transplantation. So next example is HIV AIDS because they are sexually transmitted disease. So we have discussed here direct mode. Now next is indirect mode. That means here vectors will be used as intermediate between infected or diseased person to healthy person. So here role of vector is important. For example, housefly, mosquito and water base. You can easily correlate with mosquito in case of dengue, chikungunya, yellow fever or malaria. So here vector will transfer these carriers from infected to host individual. Now human behavior is a critical factor in spread of infectious disease. Here human behavior has an important role in spreading of infectious disease because sanitation or hygiene is culturally determined, and you can correlate it with toilet habits, hand washing. These are attitudinal or social culturally determined habits. Even religious aspects, because in Jaina there is cultural practice of fast up to death to attain moksha. So this practice has led to high mortality rate even in earlier ages or in youth stage. That means even religion can have role on your health. Similarly, if large pilgrimages happen, you can relate it with Ganga. If Ganga has polluted water and there are higher chances of spreading antimicrobial resistance, then more pilgrimages will lead to more health issues in local population. So similarly, toilet habits, if any society or any community don't have habit of hand washing after toilet use, they will have higher chances of getting ill, especially higher infection among old people and children. So these are culturally determined. Now tribes in central India suffer from TB and malaria. So when we will discuss tribal problems in paper 2, you can pick up some of the case studies to write here. For example, in central Indian tribes like gonds, bhils, they have higher incidences of TB and malaria. Again, due to poor hygiene practices, as well as anthropologist has observed that they have cohabitation with animals in their houses, so this led to more crowding as well as less focus on sanitation. Now, these infectious diseases are main reason for depopulation of few tribes, and this was mentioned by Debar Commission, who has given recommendations for tribal health. So you can write these points, and here you are connecting paper 1 and paper 2, so this shows your understanding of subject. Now, what is way out for infectious disease? We are discussing only infectious disease here. Firstly, total sanitation campaign or Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Nirmal Bharat Abhiyan, these are steps to increase sanitation and decrease open defecation, which is main cause for health issues in tribal areas and in rural areas. Now, National Drinking Water Program, because disease like cholera or typhoid, they spread because of lack of availability of potable water. Now, Namami Gange program, again this will help to reduce antimicrobial resistance and provide clean water in the nearby areas. Now, Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana, this has provision for more infrastructural development, more social infrastructure that will provide more hospitals in villages that have direct connection with improved health system. Now, reproductive healthcare of children, adolescents and mother. So this approach was taken by government to identify more vulnerable people in our society who have higher chances of getting disease. So, and in this program focus is on adolescents, so that they will have healthy lifestyle that will give more healthy individuals who will enter into pregnancy stage, and that will give more healthy child, so that maternal mortality rate as well as infant mortality rate can be reduced. Now, National Health Policy 2018, and you can also mention about Ayushman Bharat Mission that has provision for insurance as well, and here focus is more both on preventive healthcare as well as protective healthcare. So that's all for infectious disease. Now, non-communicable or non-infectious disease. So these are those diseases which are not spread directly from one individual to another. That means if someone from your family have this disease, then also there is less chances to spread due to your direct or indirect contact. So how they disease spread or how these disease caused? Firstly, they are caused by how people live their lifestyle is important factor, and in which environment they are living. Now, non-communicable diseases are chronic disease, that means they are long lasting and one oral medicine will not suffice to treat these diseases. Here are some risk factors which led to more chances of getting an individual these non-communicable disease. Firstly, age degenerative changes. It shows that with the time as individuals become old, aging will start, and here you can correlate with aging theory. You can pick up any of the aging theory and you can write one paragraph here, that here our DNA starts producing dead genes or genes which are harmful for our body. Or you can here write that now the tear of various organs will happen, that's why the functional capacity of our body or different organs will reduce. And some of the disease which happen due to this decreased functional aspect is Parkinson. So you can directly correlate about senescence here. Now, smoking. So this shows how lifestyle has led to more disease. Smoking or drinking alcohol, these issues led to decrease your mental health, and especially if mother is taking smoking or alcohol during pregnancy time, then the infant will have low birth weight and brain development of that infant also impacted. Now diet and physical activity, these are crucial factors for every individual, even if fit or healthy individual also. What is your diet, how you are balancing fast food and green vegetables in your diet? That means how you are balancing your taste as well as nutrient factor in your diet. So if someone is taking a balanced diet with proper amount of micronutrient as well as macronutrient, then he will be healthy individual. Now physical activity will decide how much active you will remain. So it is important even for civil service aspirants that they remain active, and they should focus on meditation as well as some physical exercise, sports or yoga, so that their efficiency can be improved. Now some of the examples of non-communicable disease. Firstly, cancer, and this is because of irregularity in breakdown of cells, or you can say irregularity in cell fusion mechanism, where every cell of our body is growing and then going through a dividing stage. So this cycle of cell growth, if it becomes unsustainable, then cancer will happen. Now diabetes, India is hub of diabetes in the world because there is less focus on maintaining taste as well as nutrient aspect in your diet. Now heart disease, various heart disease or heart disorders, pulmonary disorders are emerging, especially in people who are living in metropolitan or polluted cities. 14 out of 20 cities of India are most polluted. That means in 20 most polluted cities of world, 14 are from India. Now obesity, with green revolution and with rising standard of living in India, we have now going through a new problem, that is obesity, where focus is more on quantitative aspect. That means more quantity of food is taken, especially in younger age, and that leads to obesity issues. Occupational disease, you can correlate with people who are working in mining areas, where they will suffer from various respiratory disease. Similarly, silicosis, where micropollutant enters into alveoli. That means these are small structures in our lungs and which have important role in our respiratory system. If something that is harmful for our body enters in these alveoli, these are small bubbles shaped structures in our lungs. So if something enters here, so that will hamper proper functioning of these alveoli, which have role in intake as well as outtake of gases in our lungs. Now Alzheimer's disease, which is related with our congenital impairment, or you can say it is related with our senescence phenomena. So you can now relate it with unit 10 to write some theoretical part. Now way out or government initiatives. Firstly, yoga promotion. On 21st June we are celebrating International Yoga Day. So yoga not only promotes your physical health, it will also help in handling mental stress. So this is needed for your good psychological health. Now government is targeting smoking, alcohol, and you can relate with government initiative of 85% of area of any tobacco related material should be related with pictures. So it is related with advertisement on tobacco products. Now National Mental Health Program, similarly National Blindness Control Program or Cancer Control Program. So you can relate with your non-communicable disease aspect. If some extra points you can write. Now nutritional deficiency related disease. So these are those diseases which happen when there is inconsistency of essential nutrients in individual, and it can be due to over or excess of nutrients, which is that means obesity, or second one is deficiency. So obesity I am not dealing it here, and I am focusing on deficiency because our syllabus mention or about nutritional deficiency only. So nutritional deficiency disease reduce overall immunity of body, which is needed to fight disease, especially you can relate with COVID-19. And if our immunity goes down, then our body become more susceptible for disease. And this deficiency can be divided into two. Firstly, macronutrient deficiency, where macronutrients are carbohydrates, protein and fats. If deficiency of these macronutrient will in our diet, then it is macronutrient deficiency. And some of the disease are marsumus or kwashiorkor. You can write about them. Now micronutrient deficiency happen when there is deficiency of micronutrients like vitamin deficiency or mineral deficiency. So if we discuss about vitamin deficiency, then retinol, riboflavin, thiamine, you can write about others as well, vitamin C or D. So for example, vitamin A will lead to xerophthalmia or night blindness. So these are disorders of eyes. So it will have impact on your vision capability. Now riboflavin is related with your skin disorder or effective functioning of stomach. Now thiamine is related to beriberi, and if deficiency is there, then our muscles will perform less. Now if mineral deficiency is there, then also some issues happen. For example, if deficiency of sodium, then the muscle cramps will happen. If deficiency of potassium, then that will lead to less efficient functioning of our heart, because potassium is needed for our heart system as well. Now potassium also related with weakening of muscles. What is way out? What should be done? Firstly, deficiency disease are because of poverty, because there is lack of food, because accessibility is not to all individuals, especially to the below poverty individuals. And second factor is that there is lack of awareness regarding proper nutritional diet, and due to that, if there is enough food but nutrition is lacking, and this led to problem of hidden hunger. So you can correlate with your GS points. So firstly, poverty and purchasing power of people should be increased, and the initiatives like MG Narega has doing well in this aspect, and especially during the epidemic time, MG Narega has played an important role for livelihood security of millions of people in India. Now, to study deficiency disease, anthropologists are focusing on giving suggestions, and one of them is fortified foods. And these fortification can done at two stages. Firstly, at plant stages. That means if fortification is done at plant stage, then product of that plant or our crop will have enough nutrients which are needed. And secondly is stage when something is added, when product we have taken from our field. So in this second stage, now the artificial addition of nutrients will happen after product For example, in rice there are some addition of some kernels which is looking like rice, but they have higher content of iron, zinc or vitamin A. So that led to a product which is rich in vitamin A, and this is known as fortified rice. So there are two mechanisms of fortification. Now, what are the steps taken to ensure nutritional security of our population? Firstly, green revolution, so that we have enough food. Secondly, integrated child development schemes, or you can mention about Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, where focus is on pregnant women and young infants, and here financial incentive is given to women so that she can take care of her health. Now, vitamin A supplements at various primary health centers, midday meal scheme, so that students attendance as well as their health aspect can be ensured. Now, National Food Security Mission, here almost 69% of our population is entitled to get food at lower prices, so that no one will left behind. So that's all for this. I hope you have enjoyed these lectures. You have one important work here, that is you have to write tribal health case studies, that we will discuss in paper 2 in this unit, so that your answer will look more comprehensive and you will have integrated answer of paper 1 as well as paper 2. So that's all. Thank you so much, and like, share and subscribe Task IAS.